Bang! Neves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife Kara is at work, and this is the Kizer Gemini modded by knife modders Lyndi Lou and Richie B. So, this is going to be basically like a twofold knife review. Not only am I reviewing this knife because this is the first time I've ever checked out a Kizer Gemini, but also checking out some of knife modders' work. And I will link them below. In my opinion, they do amazing, amazing work. Not even in my opinion. I mean, they just do amazing work. So if you're wanting any type of knife modding services done, definitely get a hold of them because they do phenomenal work. So this knife is a left-handed knife, as you can see, and I have to thank Ryan because this is his knife. He, had his Gemini obviously modded and then had it sent to me to review. I'm not left-handed, but I still can get by just fine. And I also figured out something special about this, that since it has this stone washing, I can reverse flick off of it, even left-handed. That's how easy it actually is. Now I'm having trouble. I'm under the camera, so pretty easily though. Now right-handed, I'm trying not to put my finger on there. It's very easy. Very easy. And what I meant was on the lock bar. You don't want to squeeze the lock bar when doing that. Very easy to reverse flick this knife. The action is just so good. It's amazing action. Not only on the opening, but also on the drop. It's very drop shutty. It feels extremely smooth, very glassy. You can definitely tell they did good work with their mods, meaning they didn't stonewash the bearing track or, where the bearings roll. So that's always a plus, because if they would have, it would not be this glassy. It's very, very smooth. Tension from the lock bar is nice, and I'm saying nice and soft because it's not bad soft. It's not where it's too soft, but it is soft where, it's easy to disengage and makes it incredibly, incredibly smooth. Still very much centered. The detent is nice and early, in my opinion, because when I unlock it, I can let it go past and hit my finger and then let it drop. So in that case, it's a good placement. Now, if it was any later, yeah, it would be a little too late, but it's just fine for me to get past to let it drop. The flipper tab is a large flipper tab, but I personally never worry about flipper tabs. I know there's lots of people that complain about the pecking all day, every day in your pocket, but I don't really worry about pocket peckers. So, this is what I care about is how it flips. I don't want a flipper tab too small to where I'm not getting good leverage. And in this case, it's a great size. You get great amount of leverage. You can use the corner right there for the push button, or you can light switch it by just placing your finger right on top and dragging down. Either way, you have good leverage on the flipper tab, and it really kicks out very nicely. And even just lightly, it's so smooth that even with me just barely flicking it, and I also like the sound. Let me get closer to the mic. It has a good sound to it. Now, on the drop, like I said, very, very smooth. Here's the detent. It's a lighter detent. That's why I can reverse flick it so easily, but it's still clicky. No detent lash, nothing like that. Now you can see the hardware blackened out. I think they did that. I'm not positive though, but I do know that they do offer I don't know if it's a Cerakote or ceramic coating on parts, so that's something else they do offer. And then you can see the wood grain that looks just so good on this handle. The texturing is really, really nice. It adds to the grip. Not only does it add to the grip, but it adds to the beauty. It looks so good, and I love this raw look, meaning like, you got the raw stone washed blade, the nice gray stone washed blade, and then going to here, it's got that raw titanium look. You can see I can see from my naked eye that it's has some type of blasting finish, which adds to the texture as well. You you might not be able to see it, but I can see it glistening a little bit, kind of a sparkle. But yeah, man, this wood grain's really nice. And then you have the beautiful blasted pocket clip that also matches. Everything was put together very, very well. Now, we'll talk about the ergos, then we'll go into cutting with it, because it is about 15 thousandths behind the edge, and I can get a full grip on this knife. It is a neutral grip, but you see how you have a straight back right here, and then it kind of contours down right there. So it really fills the hand really nicely. I like the way it feels in the hand. It's not too thick. It has a nice depth to it. Full grip without it being really big. Like, if it was bigger, I would have a lot more leverage, but it's not too small. It's like the happy medium. Now, this flipper tab does push you down just a little bit, but it's meant to be that way. And what it does is the blade kind of goes toward the things you're cutting. You know, it is a drop point blade. A very simple blade design. This is a Ray Laconico design, which I do like Ray Laconico's designs because they're nice and simple. But because you have that forward facing, like, just angle, if you had it in your hand, you'd really feel it. But the blade, like, kind of faces down towards the things you're cutting. It almost feels like it's going to be a recurved drop point blade, but it's not. But it makes it to where when you're cutting with it, it really feels like you have a lot of leverage pushing into your cut. I tend to use my finger right on the back of the spine, not quite up here, but right there when I'm pushing through. And yeah, it glides through materials very nicely. It does cut through materials pretty good. The thickness behind the edge is a great thickness at 15 thousandths. And yeah, very, very nice cutting action. Now, you do have a decent amount of belly for slicing and stuff like that, but you still have a great amount of point dropping down. Hence drop point. But, because of the knife being not too big, we'll get the size comparisons and everything here in just a second. It makes it to where, you have a great amount of leverage down into utility cuts. The tip is nice and acute, not too dainty though, so you're not really going to have to worry about it chipping or anything. It's not one you're going to want to pry with, but it works out great for utility cuts. So the utility cuts are fantastic with this, and a lot of it has to do with this leverage and the size of the knife too, because it's not a big knife, but it is a great EDC size knife, especially to get multiple tasks done between slicing, cutting, and utility cuts. So great utility cutter. Now the clip works so good. This is a great titanium clip. It is a titanium milled clip. It's not on the lock bar. It is on the scale. So on, this side of the scale. It appears that it might be on the lock bar, but it's not. So going in and out of the pocket, it works great. It's not very deep carry, but you don't need it to be deep carry. I'm actually happy that it's not deep carry, because